The following is a production of Neural Network Media and is completely AI generated. It is intended for entertainment and educational purposes only.
Welcome back to the Neural Right, your daily dose of common sense in a truly, deeply crazy world. I'm Will Sterling, coming to you from the barn in Maine, the only place left where the air is clear and the ruling class hasn't found the door yet.
Yet. Give them time, Will. They're probably tracking your flannel shipment via satellite as we speak. I'm Ashley Thorne, and honestly, after what we covered yesterday, that mega act and the Kevin Warsh nomination, I thought maybe, just maybe, the adults were back in the room.
Right?
But then I looked at the news this morning and realized, no, the circus is not just in town, it's currently burning the tent down for insurance money.
It's a busy show today, Ashley. Solid, action-packed, and frankly, a little terrifying. We're looking at a world that feels like it's being held together with duct tape and prayer. We've got mysterious explosions in Iran, a final dump of Epstein files that, surprise, surprise, the media is already trying to bury. And of course, the big one.
The midnight standoff.
Exactly. The government is partially shut down as of 12:01 a.m. today. We're going to go deep on that at the end of the show because it's not just a budget fight. It's a fight for the very soul of the country. Right, Ashley? But before we get there, Ashley, you've been watching the Middle East.
I have, and while everyone in D.C. is fighting over earmarks, the rest of the world is playing for keeps.
Right.
Early this morning, Saturday morning, a massive explosion rocked the Iranian port city of Bandar Abbas. We're talking about an 8-story building on Malayam Avenue. According to the Tribune, the first 3 floors were just pulverized.
Oh, wow.
Now, the Iranian state media, Tasnim News, is out there doing their usual nothing to see here routine. They're saying it's all fake news, completely false, but social media is lighting up with reports that a high-ranking IRGC naval commander was the target.
What is going on here?
It's maximum pressure 2.0.
Exactly. Think about it. Bandar Abbas is the crown jewel of their maritime trade, right? It's right on the Strait of Hormuz. If that place is unstable, 20% of the world's oil supply is suddenly what? A gamble?
Right. And that's the point.
Uh-huh.
The Trump administration isn't just sending strong letters anymore. They've intensified the sanctions, targeting the interior minister and a businessman with close ties to the regime. But here's the reality that the elites in the media won't tell you. We're also revoking the luxury travel privileges for the families of these IRGC officials.
Wait. Literally? Think about it. You've got these death to America types in Tehran, and their kids are shopping on Rodeo Drive.
Exactly.
Why are we doing this? Why was this ever allowed?
Because the ruling class, as you call them, Will, treats the world like one big country club where the rules only apply to the people in the cheap seats. You want to lead a rogue regime that hangs people from cranes? Fine, but your daughter doesn't get to go to NYU on a student visa. Life is hard. Get a helmet.
It's so true. They hate you. They really do. They want to burn down your way of life while they enjoy the perks of yours. It's manic. It's absolutely manic.
It's the same energy we're seeing in these Epstein documents, Will. You've been digging through that 3 million page mountain?
I have, and my soul needs a shower. The DOJ released the final cache yesterday, Friday the 30th, under the Epstein Files Transparency Act, and it's not just about the usual suspects anymore.
Right.
We're seeing emails from 2013, 5 years after Epstein was a convicted sex offender. And who's at the center? Steve Tisch.
The owner of the Giants?
And an Oscar-winning producer.
Shut up. Really?
Literally. According to the files, Epstein was acting as a scouter for Tisch, sending him scouting reports on women, discussing whether they were pro or civilian or working girls.
It's disgusting.
Think about it. In one exchange, Tisch asks Epstein, "Is she fun?" about a woman Epstein was inviting to meet him.
Is she fun? That's how they talk about women, like they're picking out a new sports car or a luxury watch. Tisch is out here today saying it was a brief association and he never went to the island.
Right? But my question is, why are you emailing a sex offender about fun women?
At all.
Exactly. And Catherine Rumeyer, too. Obama's White House counsel? Epstein was giving her political messaging advice. Why is the ruling class taking advice from a monster? Because they don't see him as a monster, they see him as a peer.
Exactly. A fixer for the elite.
A fixer for the elite. It's all one big club, and you're not in it. In fact, you're the one they're scouting.
Let's be real. The Epstein Files Transparency Act was supposed to clean house, but all it's doing is showing us how dirty the house actually is.
And while they're scouting women in the Hamptons, they're using regulatory lawfare to destroy people just trying to survive in Nashville. Oh, this story. Ashley, tell me you saw the Nashville HOA disaster.
I did, and it makes me want to scream. You've got an ice storm in Tennessee, 240,000 people without power in sub-freezing temperatures.
Mm-hmm.
She spends $1,500 of her own money on a generator to keep her family warm. She's 5 days into the dark, and within hours, her HOA management company, Metropolitan Properties, sends her an email.
Let me guess. We love your generator. Thanks for staying safe.
Not quite. They told her to remove it immediately because of aesthetic standards.
Aesthetic standards?
Aesthetic standards.
I mean, really? Why are they doing this? You're freezing to death, and they're worried the generator doesn't match the shutters?
They even called it a fire hazard while thanking her in the same email for keeping the community attractive.
Wow.
It's the ultimate rules over people mindset, and it's everywhere. It's the EPA pushing back on state cattle actions. It's the environmental drones spying on farmers. They want a digital control grid where every aspect of your life, from the heat in your house to the cow in your field, is approved by a bureaucrat.
Before we get back to the analysis, let's deal with a hard reality. Real independence isn't free. This entire network, from this show to our flagship The Neural Daily, exists because one man, Eric Christensen, decided to build it himself. He didn't ask for a government grant. He invested his own capital and technical expertise to architect a media platform that respects your intelligence. If you value that kind of meritocratic building, back it up. And don't limit yourself to just the politics. Get the full strategic picture by subscribing to The Neural Daily and the rest of the network. Support the builder, and you support the mission.
And supporting the mission means supporting the truth, even when the truth is as absurd as the United Nations.
Oh, here we go. Laugh.
Ashley, did you see the diplomatic shift this morning? The UN has elected the new Syrian regime, the guys who just took over, to lead a committee, wait for it, on crimes against humanity.
No, they didn't.
I'm serious.
I mean, think about it. Former jihadist commanders drafting international law on human rights?
It's the Twilight Zone. It's proof that these international institutions are a total farce. While Panama is out here actually protecting their sovereignty, their Supreme Court just struck down those Chinese-backed port contracts for the Panama Canal.
That's a huge win.
It's a crucial win. They're reclaiming their choke points. But the UN is busy giving a platform to the very people they were condemning 5 minutes ago?
It's because the ruling class loves a reset. They don't care about the crimes. They care about the seats at the table. It's like the NFL trying to teach us kindness with social media influencers.
The huddle for good.
What is going on here? We've got men smashing into each other at 30 miles an hour, but we need a TikTok star to tell us not to be mean in the comments?
It's so patronizing.
It is. And then you have Lindsey Vonn, 41 years old, crashing in Switzerland.
That was a nasty one.
She had to be airlifted out. And look, I respect the grit. She skied to the finish before they let her take her to the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
But why are we pushing this? Is it for the brand? Is the industry so desperate for a legend to sell the 2026 Winter Olympics that they're letting a woman with no ACLs hurdle herself down a mountain?
I think she's the one pushing, Will. She's an elite athlete. They don't know how to stop. But you're right. The machine around her is more than happy to broadcast the crash for views.
It's sad. We lose the real icons like Catherine O'Hara passing away yesterday, and we try to replace them with content creators and engineered comebacks.
O'Hara was the real deal.
She was Kate McAllister. She was Moira Rose. She was authentic. She didn't have a digital kindness coach. She just had talent.
And a vocabulary that made us all feel a little smarter.
Exactly. But speaking of being smart, Will, let's look at some news that actually has some common sense for once. I'm looking at these medical journals today, and I'm actually optimistic. Optimistic? That's a new one for you, Ashley.
I'm serious. Nature Medicine just published these landmark studies on fecal microbial transplantation.
Oh, the poop pills.
Exactly. It sounds like something from a bad comedy, but the data is insane. We're talking an 80% success rate in lung cancer and melanoma patients when they combine immunotherapy with these capsules.
80%?
80%.
I mean, think about it. For years, the ruling class in medicine has been pushing these incredibly expensive, toxic chemicals, and it turns out the answer was just restoring the body's natural balance?
Exactly. It's scientific meritocracy. If it works, it works. But of course, the pharmaceutical industry can't patent your own gut bacteria, can they? They'd rather sell you a 6-figure treatment that only works half the time.
Uh-huh.
And that brings me to the other healthcare story, UCLA. The Department of Justice is finally stepping in because of these race-based medical admissions.
Oh, thank God.
Let's be real. When you're on an operating table, do you care about the surgeon's lived experience, or do you care if they were the best student in their class?
Right?
We have the Victimhood Industrial Complex trying to tell us that standards are oppressive. No, standards save lives. The fact that we have a medical school in 2026 prioritizing diversity over competency is a national scandal.
It is. It's a total mess.
It's dangerous.
Exactly. Why are they doing this? Because they want a society where identity matters more than achievement? They want you to trust a system that is actively lowering the bar.
Right.
I mean, really, think about it. If you lower the bar for doctors, who pays the price? Not the elites who have private clinics. You do, the listener.
Exactly. Life is hard. Get a helmet. And you definitely need a helmet when the federal government decides to take a vacation.
And that brings us to the midnight standoff. This is the story of the day, folks.
Breath. 12:01 a.m. The lights went out. 75% of the federal government has officially entered a partial shutdown. We're talking about the Department of Defense, State, Treasury, HHS, and the one that is the center of this entire storm, Homeland Security.
And you just know Chuck Schumer is in front of every camera he can find, blaming House Republicans for instability.
Of course he is, but let's interrogate the frame here. Why are we actually in a shutdown? It's not because the GOP doesn't want to fund the military. It's because the Senate Democrats loaded the DHS bill with poison pills that would effectively end border enforcement as we know it.
Let's look at the reality of those provisions.
Right?
They want to ban federal immigration agents from wearing masks during operations.
Masks. I mean, really, think about it. This all goes back to the protests in Minneapolis earlier this month. Alex Preddy and Renee Good were killed in an exchange with federal agents. So now Chuck Schumer's common sense solution is to make sure every cartel member can see exactly what the ICE agent looks like?
It's a death sentence for law enforcement. It's identifying the people who protect us so the victimhood crowd can target them at home. It's disgusting.
And they want to require federal agents to obtain local warrants for operations.
Excuse me?
Literally, think about it. We have a hierarchy of laws in this country, but the Senate wants to give a radical city council in Minneapolis a veto over federal immigration law?
Why are they doing this? Because they want to castrate federal law enforcement.
Right?
If you make it impossible for federal agents to act without the blessing of a sanctuary city
crappy mayor, you have effectively abolished the border.
That's the Slough Amnesty.
Exactly. And let's not forget about the money, Will.
Oh, the earmarks. According to the House Freedom Caucus, there's $12.5 billion in this stopgap for migrant services.
12.5 billion?
Breath. Think about it. We're in a massive deficit. You're paying $6 for a gallon of milk, and the Senate wants to borrow $12 billion more to transition people who are here illegally?
Transition. I love that word. It sounds so helpful. In reality, it's a permanent subsidy for an invasion.
They hate you. They really do. They would rather shut down the Treasury Department, the people who handle your tax returns, than stop the flow of money to people who shouldn't even be here.
And we have to talk about the GOP spinelessness in the Senate. 20 Republicans voted for this mess.
The populist prince is not amused. No, these are the people who are supposed to be the opposition, but they're so terrified of a government shutdown headline in the New York Times that they'll vote for a bill that allows the border to stay wide open.
Right?
They think that if they just compromise a little more, the ruling class will finally like them. They won't. They'll just use you until you're used up.
But here's the frame, Ashley. The House is holding the line. They're saying no. No to the masks, no to the local warrants, and no to the $12.5 billion amnesty fund.
And that's why the government is closed.
Exactly. Think about it. We are literally at a point where the only way to protect the country's sovereignty is to stop the government from functioning. It's a paradox. It's absolute madness.
But it's a necessary pause. If the business of government is currently the business of replacing the voter, then I say close the shop.
Okay, but what about the $15 billion in arms sales to Israel and Saudi Arabia?
Here he goes with the global stability.
No, really. We just approved 730 Patriot missiles to the Saudis. If the State Department is shut down and the port of Bandar Abbas is blowing up, do those missiles get through? Or are we leaving our allies hanging while we argue about masks in Minneapolis?
Look, well, the world has survived government shutdowns before. The missiles will ship. The real danger isn't a 2-week delay in a weapons contract. It's the permanent loss of our own national identity because we're too afraid to say no to a bad budget.
You're right. You're right. It's about priorities.
Exactly.
Why are they doing this now? Why the midnight standoff? Because they want to force the House to blink before the weekend is over.
Well, they shouldn't.
They better not. They really better not.
What a day, from poop pills to a full-on government collapse.
It's a busy show, Ashley, but I think we've laid it out. The ruling class is in a panic because for once, they're not getting exactly what they want.
And they hate it.
They do. They really do. All right, that's the show for this Saturday, January 31st, 2026.
Stay safe out there. And if you're in Nashville, keep that generator running.
Aesthetic standards be damned. What is going on here? We'll see you tomorrow from the bunker.